5:30, 5:32, I'll call it. So I think we should call the special public hearing for 41 East Main Street to order.
Okay.
The clerk will read the notice.
I will. Town of Ayer Board of Health public hearing notice in accordance with the Ayer Board of Health Aquifer Protection District regulations. The Ayer Board of Health will conduct a public hearing on Monday, May 22nd, 2017 at 5:30 p.m. in the Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. to consider a request for a special permit by Mark W. Sada for the construction of two-unit dwellings and the remodel of an existing multifamily home that abuts an aquifer at 41 East Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Copies may be viewed at the town clerk's office during regular business hours. Assessors map 27, parcel 157. Ayer Board of Health, Pamela Papineau, Chair, Mary Spinner, Clerk, Patricia Peters, Member, and this was in The Voice on May 5th and the 12th.
Very good. And the butters, you sent out notices, the butters.
We never received any abutters.
You did not?
Abutters, we never received anything.
No,
Aha.
they're on the list.
Let's take a look.
I never signed for anything recently.
Here are
Okay. Let's see what we got.
these are the notices that went out. Let's see if we're on the if we're notified.
She certainly should have been right there on Pond Street.
We received it the first time, but we never received it this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have been the same list.
I don't see it here.
Do you have the official list?
I don't have the list. I have the
Receipts.
receipts.
So we don't have a cross check.
I don't.
Okay. If I may.
I don't believe I do. Let me
What
see.
was the name again?
In 10 Pond Street.
10 Pond, okay. Stick together. Name list. You don't have a copy of the list?
And you used the same list that you did the first time, right?
We received it the first time.
Yeah. So you should have been on the list.
Well, he might have. Didn't you order a new list just to make sure it was the most up to date?
Yes,
Yeah, he got
we
it.
got it, I believe, from the assessor's office.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I will make note of that. We'll do that. Where's my agenda for tonight?
And what is your address?
10 Pond.
10 Pond.
Just wondering if it was omitted from the official butters list by mistake.
Yeah, that's what I'd
Sometimes
like to
happens.
check on too. Do you know of anyone else? Any other butters that did not? Okay.
Did the Sparazios get one? Because they were here at the last meeting. And I think your husband, Dan, right?
He was at the planning board.
Is it different? I mean, it shouldn't be different.
Should be the same list.
Yeah, it should
Yeah.
be. It's 300 feet.
No, but we're not in a butter. He just he just went to the meeting.
But the Speranza.
Yes,
Yeah, Richie
that's right.
Sperrazio, you
Yeah.
got that?
I'm looking.
Paul Bazone?
What address?
Well, he would be Oak Street, probably
Yeah.
12, Oak would be Richie Sperrazio.
The Oak Street proof. You said you had your office do that, correct?
I haven't even.
Jen did it the first time and
Yeah,
there was no problem.
right.
You did it once.
We did it for the planning or the zoning board. About a month now. All I can say is I don't have the official list. Mark's office had the official list that they used for that, so
Hmm.
I don't know how we, is anybody at the office or?
I had 17 of these. How many did you count?
On the zoning board of appeals list,
31 you
It
Huh?
should be the same
had,
list.
right?
It should be
I
the
think
same
it was
list.
41.
It was 7 pages times 4 plus
Yeah.
3 at the end.
There's 7 by 4, and then there's 3 there, but then these are all separate ones that never had the other card come back.
Uh-huh.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. 19 plus 1, 4.
Yeah, because I only have
43.
17 here. And this, I haven't even, you know, she gave them to me, I put them in the file, I didn't look at them, so. And I didn't have a butters list.
Yeah, this was a previous list, so I know they ordered a new one just to make sure they had the most up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it
yeah.
from the assessor's office, but the problem is we don't seem to have a
Yeah.
copy of that official list.
Hmm.
There wasn't one given in your box at all?
No.
Sometimes the boards do that.
Okay, well, Jane, we definitely want to follow up
Yep.
on that. Can you,
Absolutely.
Mark, send Jane, just email her the list
Yeah.
that you use?
Yeah, you don't have the names on that butters list that you had sent.
This goes beyond my expertise, Mary. What do we do? The butters weren't notified.
And do you have some sort
Well,
of
Some of them
official
notified. I
list?
couldn't
I know you got
go
it from
forward
the
with
assessor,
this,
but
and then, I mean, that's not
apparently
our fault.
that list is far
If you got
different
it from
and
the
missing
assessor's
some
office,
names.
should be the same
I know.
list as before.
Well, unless they, you know, they changed the parameters for some reason when they made the list.
They shouldn't change it.
Yeah, you should.
Parameters or what's in there.
Yeah. Because it's a butters and a butters to a butters, right? It's one removed.
Okay, and that was done by phone with the person at the assessor's office?
17.
She is 17. You know, if
So there's no way for us to kind of backtrack and corroborate that. All right. Is there some names missing? Well, previously there was 46 or something like that. 43. And you picked that up and called them back, and that's what she said was the complete list. That was what was required, was the 17. That was what she was given.
Okay, from the
And
assessor.
she actually called back and said, look, this is a short. And she spoke to the person at the assessor's office.
Okay. Can you follow up on that one, Jane, and
Yeah.
just,
I certainly will. I think Jackie's out.
Okay,
there
so
somewhere.
start. Thanks.
okay. So we'll
Bye.
try to track that down, and whether or not the lists were the same, or if there was some, because it's direct abutters and then it's the abutters to those abutters. It's one removed.
We kind of
so-
went with what they gave us. We called back, did our due diligence, and at least said, hey, this is
Yeah,
short.
I know. I'm almost wondering if you only got the list of direct abutters and not that one removed thing. So we'll try to track down what went on
Still
there.
should have been the same list as. what's-
Again, but
Absolutely,
our office
yeah.
did the ZBA filing, and Mark's office, he
Yeah.
wanted to take care of it, so
Right.
Yep.
that's where the disconnect with the,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. to
and
me.
I understand why, I mean, for him to pay us to stuff envelopes, I mean, I can understand. if
Yeah,
he's got-
right,
If
right.
he's got staff that can do that.
Yeah. I'm sure he's paying you for enough other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I don't know if, so we do have some abutters anyway. Have you seen, or would you like to see, we can go through a presentation of what the revised plan is so that you're up to speed on that. I think we should probably do that. That would be helpful.
Okay.
So if you could just quickly kind of run through, well, it doesn't have to be quick.
Can you see this all right, or, I mean, trying to see
Yeah,
if
you
the board
turn
can
it.
see it as well.
That's okay, because we've got our,
Okay, you got a copy.
we have a hard copy here.
Okay.
Those chairs, maybe?
What's that?
Move those chairs.
Yeah, just move it back a little, then we can all see it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look into,
I know, I've got the,
yeah.
we've got a choice of gigantic or far away. Gigantic and up close or far away.
All right. Put myself around here as well. There we go. Upside down. Okay, my name's Neil Gorman. I'm from David Ross Associates, and we're representing Mark Seda, the property owner, regarding 41 East Main Street. And as you know, the property sits between Pond Street and Oak Street. Here's East Main Street on our plan. So East Main Street, Pond, and Oak. Right here is the existing dwelling. Here's an existing garage, and there is also an existing garage here, but we're not showing that because it's proposed to be removed during this project. And what we are proposing is 2 new structures on the property that each house one dwelling. So this is a 2-dwelling unit, single family, a single family, and then a second one with another single family and single family. So 2 two-family dwellings. The existing structure currently has 3 dwellings. That's going to be modified interiorly to be just 2. So currently the property has 3 dwelling units. In the end, we're going to have a total of 6 dwelling units. The existing driveway comes off of Oak Street right now for the existing dwelling. That is going to be modified and shrunk down to provide parking and access for the those that dwell in this existing dwelling. We are proposing 2 driveways to serve the 2 new units here. What's different from this plan compared to the one that we brought before the Zoning Board of Appeals and before the Board of Health months ago was that each unit had 1 garage space and 1 outdoor parking space. What has changed is each dwelling unit now has 2 parking spaces or 2 garage spaces, thus eliminating the need for an outdoor parking space. Each dwelling unit per zoning needs 2 parking spaces. So both of those parking spaces are now garage parking spaces. The other changes in this plan were that the dwelling units themselves that are being proposed were shrunk in size from 44 by 48 feet to 44 by 40 feet. So they made it a little bit smaller. The units were also moved further back off of Pond Street by 5 feet, providing a little more maneuverability for the cars parking in front of the parking in those garage spaces. Each unit, we've modified the decks. Each unit will have a 10-foot by 22-foot deck on the back with stairs going down off the back of the dwelling units. Probably the most significant change in regards to what the Board of Health is seeking is the Aquifer Protection District that we're trying to protect. The proposed driveways are originally proposed to be paved and then to be flowed or directed into a rain garden to collect the stormwater and treat it. We have changed that to what they call porous pavers, which will allow the rain to go through the driveways, and then under that there'll be constructed 4 different layers of media of stone and different sizes in which the water will be treated as it goes through the driveways. So that eliminated the need for the rain garden itself. We're still collecting the roof runoff with trenches along the outside of the structures that also have a perforated pipe to then direct the water to Caltech chambers. We have 4 series of those, 2 for each unit. Again, then those Caltech chambers, if you haven't seen them, they're plastic units that have slots in them, and they picture an upside down, almost like a rainbow, and they sit in sand so that the water from the roof will be directed into those areas and be recharged prior to getting into the groundwater. Again, that's the focus of the Board of Health. As I mentioned earlier, there is a smaller existing garage right here that is being removed, eliminating that area of impervious. We are adding a set of stairs off of this existing porch on the existing dwelling to provide egress from the upstairs unit to get outside a second exit. As I mentioned earlier, this dark gray area is the proposed driveway. Right now the driveway kind of wraps around the existing garage and around, so that area will be eliminated. There'll be loam and seed, so it'll be grass when we're done. And the runoff from this paved driveway, or revised paved driveway, is going to be directed to 2 grass swale areas, one behind the garage and one between the driveway and Oak Street. So the stormwater from rain events isn't going to go out into the roadways. It's going to stay on site. I mentioned that. Oh, the entrance on Oak Street is being moved slightly towards East Main Street, just making the access just a little bit easier to maneuver around that existing garage. We have modified the existing or the proposed town water line to bring in 1 new water line to service all 3 buildings coming in off of East Main Street. Right now, the existing water line for the existing dwelling will be disconnected and just left in place, capped. The numbers that the Board of Health are most interested in is impervious calculations on the site. the previously permitted plan, prior to these changes, we had an impervious area of 40.2%. Because we are proposing these porous driveway areas rather than paved driveway areas, those come out of that number. We also removed this garage, which came out of that number. These dwelling units are a little bit smaller. So we have reduced our total impervious area on the site to 33% of the land area that is owned by Mr. Seda. So that's down from 40.2%. We've also reduced the total building coverage. Again, we've made these dwelling units a little bit smaller, so that's been reduced from 29.4% to 22.8%. And then one of the numbers that is important for zoning purposes, but also the Board of Health was questioning, was the open space number. Open space on the site, the minimum for the zone that they're sitting in right now is it has to be 50% minimum of open space. The previous design had 59% of open space. This design has 54%. So we've increased decreased total open space by a matter of about 5%. And that does, just so you know, that does include the porous driveways. I know that was a question, as are those considered, these are not considered part of open space. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So they got
The
bigger.
driveways do.
The driveways had to get slightly bigger to make enough room to get into the two-car garages. But when you read the definition of open space, it says driveways. It doesn't say what kind of driveways. So these driveways are part of that number, so they are calculated in it, and they are mentioned on sheet 1, and that's part of they're deducted from the total area of open space, which we're still at 54%. We need at least 50. But the modifications of this garage being removed, the modifications of this driveway, smaller buildings, we are still able to stay above the 50% open space. And in the end, there's detailed drainage calculations which were submitted where they calculate storm events. And in our summary, we mentioned that it changed from 1.49 cubic feet per second to 1.59. And what that number is before any of this construction is done, the components of the stormwater management on the site, existing conditions, what it is today, produces a stormwater runoff of 1.79. We are trying to bring that number down, and we have done that. We're down to 1.59, even with all this new construction, because we're incorporating new components to treat that stormwater. So that's a quick summary of what changed from the previous design and the previous permit. Again, just to summarize, we've eliminated the rain garden, which is kind of a high maintenance feature that took up quite a bit of space with the porous pavers, driveways. We've eliminated outdoor parking by providing two-car garages for each unit of the new one, and modified the existing driveway to eliminate some of the impervious on that side of the property. So I think in the end we've come up with a much better design, and while maintaining the interests of the Board of Health and the Aquifer District. I guess with that, I'll turn it over to the board.
Any questions from audience at this point? Comments? Abutters? Yeah.
I still feel as though they're still gonna come out on Pond Street with the traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they're not gonna be parking on their driveway, they're gonna come inside, but still. And the other thing, and I know this isn't your problem here at the Board of Health, but I just cannot see a side of a house. You're on a main thoroughfare, East Main Street, that you're not having the front of the house facing the street.
Got some for you.
Okay.
In this new design, I didn't bring that feature to it, but on this face of Main Street,
Yes,
Mr. Seda has agreed to mimic the front farmer's porch of the other structure, so
It's not as deep,
okay.
meaning from the railing to the building, which I believe on the existing structure is close to 6 feet. This is 4, so there's a porch along that side.
Is there a doorway going to the porch?
There's gonna be one, we're gonna put it into the
Go into the
side,
garage.
the lower basement area or into the garage. There will be a door.
There will be a door that you can see if you go
Yeah,
by
yeah,
East Main
yeah,
Street
yeah,
there.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
it would be,
so
so
we-
it would look like an entrance.
Correct. It's gonna have that same, you know,
You'll have a similar
Appearance.
feel.
and again, the garage doors will be pointing towards Pond Street, so you're not gonna see those from Main Street.
Are you gonna build around the tree that's there?
Well, the trees are in tough shape.
You're not taking that big nice tree down.
Did you see the big branch that came down off
I
it?
know.
What's
Probably
One
the
big
oldest
tree.
tree in town.
It's pretty old.
Mhm.
It's in tough shape. I had it assessed by 2 arborists. It's rotten on the inside.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. They are pretty trees, but I know what you mean. So I've got a couple of questions about the pavers. So you're referring to these as porous pavers. So you actually mean the kind of pavers that water comes through the paving material itself.
Correct.
They're designed in such a fashion that they're not closed on top, and we're not talking about the seams between them, that there's gaps. Yeah.
That's a permeable paving arrangement. The paver itself is not permeable.
Of course.
It's not porous.
But
There are
it's
porous
designed
pavers.
such that the water is able to pass through,
The gaps.
but they're not traditional pavers in their sense. They're designed to be permeable pavers. So there's bigger gaps and there's actually spacers that pull the blocks apart further. That's part
Right.
of where the, there's a material here if you wanted to look at it.
So can we, yeah, I saw this referenced on the back here. So can we correctly refer to those on this drawing as permeable pavers rather than porous pavers?
Sure. I mean, I
Are
don't
they
know that
permeable or
there's different or reason we
impermeable?
wouldn't, is there?
Well, the
I
paver
guess-
itself
Might be
is
semantics.
impermeable in that it doesn't go through the paver, but it goes through
The grooves.
the gaps.
Yeah.
right,
The system
gaps
is
in
called a
between.
porous paver driveway, so I guess that's what we were.
And it's designed for these applications.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the pavers, very much so. So this is good. I see that you have, you're specifying exactly what the pavers are on page 3. So this is good. It's the Unilock Echo
Yeah, that matches.
Optilock. Okay. And what does this company recommend for the underlayment? Is this little feature drawing here for the porous paver driveway, is that what this company recommends?
I believe this is a similar under structure used with porous pavement. Which we have substituted the porous pavement with the pavers.
So when you say porous pavement, now you're talking about the pavement that actually allows,
There are some pavement surfaces
right,
that
liquid to
out.
go
Yeah.
through it. Okay. Streets, clean seals. Edge restraints, we do have an edge restraint here. And this is plastic or metal edge restraint. This is looking for concrete edge restraint. Pavings, provide mass, okay. Okay, so it looks like you might have the option in here is plastic or metal edge restraint. Geotextiles, you're only using a geotextile on the sides, right? It's not going on the bottom.
I believe, yes, I believe so.
Because you're not trying to get all this to run into a collection
No,
chamber.
we're just making sure it
It's
doesn't go out
just parking all
sideways,
the
that
way
it goes
through. Yep.
down through and then into the native material.
Yep. I got you.
And that the native material doesn't come in and clog from the sides,
Okay.
keeping the fines from the native material.
Permeable base and sub-base aggregate. Permeable sub-base aggregate, uniform listness, 86 inches. Sitting bed aggregate. Cleaning. So it doesn't look to me like this specification for the pavers. So what was the reference that you used for determining this underlayment structure?
As noted here, it talks about this is right from the University of New Hampshire Stormwater Center for similar features used with the porous pavement, which allows the infiltration to go through it, which this is allowing the infiltration to go through the paver cracks.
Actually, might be one of the references. I'm not sure.
But this is what's referenced in the, I believe, the Mass Stormwater.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Massachusetts Mass Stormwater handbook. Okay. Yeah, 4-inch choker course, filter course, at least 12 inches thick, fully graded sand, filter blanket 3 inches thick. So that is actually okay. Reservoir course. Uniformly graded crust stone, high void content. So the Mass Stormwater is actually looking for 12 inches thick for this filter course.
Filter course and not 8.
That's right.
Is that comparing the same one that we referenced?
I am looking at the porous pavement section out of the Mass Stormwater
Okay.
handbook. So is that something that we can?
We can verify that.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to check on that. And I can give you a copy of this too, if you'd like to see what it is I'm referring to. Can, should I grab it? That's out of this one. First page, right? And I have a couple here, so if you want one, you can give one to Mark also.
Thank you.
And then I guess, here, Jane, you might as well keep this as
Okay.
something that we gave out at the. But otherwise, yeah, it does look like, it matches. It's just that difference in 12 inches. So if you
It's a
can,
simple enough modification, if that's, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Simple.
Same material, just.
Same material, just 4 inches
Yeah.
thicker.
Yeah, it's just adding
Changing the
four
details.
more inches to it.
12
Okay.
rather than 8.
So, my other questions have to do with the operation and maintenance plan. So we had, as you know, we get comments back from other departments, and the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health, as well as DPW, and we don't have written comments from them yet, but it's my discussion with the building inspector. All of those people were looking for, tying this requirement for the operation and maintenance plan to somehow ensure that future owners continue with this. So the way that would happen, should we approve this, just so that you know, the requirements to do the operation and maintenance plan, to do any reporting to the town, anything related to that, gets recorded on the special permit. The special permit gets recorded with the deed. So
Correct,
that
registry
that
deed.
follows the deed.
So if the
and
property ever changes hands,
Yeah.
it'll show up
Yeah.
for the new owners what's required.
Yes, exactly. So that's going to go to, right now it's Mr. Seda that owns them, and then
Correct.
as they're purchased, that carries on.
Yep.
So, so my questions about the operation and maintenance plan are a couple of things. One is that it seems to be a little bit kind of disorganized in terms of what is being done relative to these, permeable pavers or permeable paving system versus what is being looked at, and inspected as far as the landscaping is concerned. Now, I understand the landscaping is important because if you've got dirt coming down onto these pavers, then that it all impacts one another. But there's a lot of kind of different quarterly, annually, semi-annually, in the operation and maintenance plan that kind of jumps around a little bit. It also seems as though the plan either is going to require someone that knows what they're doing to properly inspect this, or they're going to have some other reference to use when inspecting.
I'm sorry, Pam, you said some other what?
Or some other reference to use when they're inspecting. So, yeah, I can understand here evidence of litter. I think everybody knows what litter is. Evidence of sand. Where? How much? What do you do if there is sand? Hazardous materials. Well, what are they? What are these hazardous materials? You are asking them to make note of, I believe that ties back in here to making a note of whether there has been any oil. Well, actually, it's a kind of a sentence without a verb. Verify that no hazardous materials such as fuel oil, motor oils, or other material has occurred. So I think you mean spills of hazardous materials. What do they do if there has been a spill? So I'm kind of looking for, I think that this permeable paver is a great idea, and I think that it is a positive thing for this site. I also believe it's only as good as its operation and maintenance, as its ongoing operation and maintenance. So what I would like to see is a clearer operation and maintenance plan that really gives some instruction as to what is it that you're looking for. What are you supposed to do if you note these, various problems? I guess there'd all be problems that you're calling out. Where is this operation and maintenance plan? Where are these forms maintained? What reporting is done? I'm troubled a little by the fact that in the plan it says that, and I understand where you're going with this, so I'm not opposed to the concept, but as experience determines the frequency, then we'll adjust the frequency of these inspections. That seems a little too open.
Well, it's very similar to even, if I may. I mean,
Yeah.
It's very similar to, we do quite a bit of sewage disposal system designs,
Yeah.
where, say it was in a sensitive area, they need a required alternative technology component to their septic system, which is what they call a pre-treatment unit that goes into the septic tank.
Yep.
Pre-treats the sewage before it goes out to the leaching area. And in those approvals from DEP, very similar. You start with a couple of annual inspections by the manufacturer of that component.
Yeah.
And as it's proven to be up and running properly, those tend to get reduced. As well as alternative leaching systems like the Cultex systems or the Cresby systems. They're designed to provide ample use and treatment, but it's ultimately up to the end user as to what they're flushing down the toilet.
Well, exactly. And it's a
So
similar.
I mean, we're talking that we do talk about on the second page about at a minimum, maintaining the driveway, obviously keeping it in an eye on cracked or broken or missing pavers and so on. So yeah, that's all part of it, and to make it even more complicated, we can certainly clean it up and make it more organized if the board wishes, obviously. But
Yeah, I actually would like to see, some of these things are seasonal, the seasonal sand, salt, things related to, wintertime versus summer conditions. When the soil's not frozen, maybe you're going to get more soil washout onto the pavers. So I would prefer to see something like, a 2 full season or 2 full calendar year. Just do this thing monthly and make your decision based on a couple of full years worth rather than, doing it once or twice in the summer and saying, oh, it looks great. We need to keep doing this all the
and
time.
again, this is, if I may speak, Mr. Sada's goal is to have this as a condo association. So ultimately, it's going to be a group of people
Yep,
sharing a property. So
that's right.
there's going to be a real detailed as well, recorded document talking about how that whole association is set up. So obviously
Right.
this will be incorporated as part of that.
That's exactly why we need to get the details into this, because this is going to be tied to the special permit, which will then tie to, the owners and the condo association.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you could do, I think just a little bit more with that. If you could say that you're going to do 2 years worth before you make any determinations about, cutting down the frequency or, perhaps
You mean making it
stopping
more
some of
frequent?
these.
Is that what you meant?
No, I'm okay with the frequency that you've got. I would just like to, in the plan, it says, as experience determines the frequency of necessary maintenance, Inspections may be adjusted to match conditions which increase the necessity of maintenance. And I would assume also decrease. So I'm just saying, before you make any changes in the decrease direction, I'd like to see you go a couple, 2 full years of doing it right according to this schedule. Do the monthlies every month,
So the notations would be monthly over the course of 2 years.
Yeah, minimum. And then if you don't have any problems, then you can consider. So I wouldn't actually put it on the checklist. I would put it in the body of the plan, that rather than just as experience determines. As experience determines over a 24-month period of executing this plan exactly the way it's written, then you can think about making changes to frequency. The other thing that troubles me that's not in here is vegetation growing between the pavers. That's got to be kept clean. Somebody's got to be digging out that, grass and weeds and whatever grow in between the pavers, because that gets all rooted up and water's not doing its job.
Okay.
So I think where we are at this point, can we keep? Can you email another copy of this on the
Yes.
pavers to us so that we can? I don't want to take your only copy, so you can have this back. But if you could just email a copy to
Yep.
Jane to throw in the file.
Is it easier for them to just keep that and make a copy?
No, sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way. Actually, email is great because then Jane can send me a copy and
Right.
you've got a copy. So I think the operation and maintenance plan, I would like to see you put some more effort into that. And the one thing that I'm really curious about is, I'm sorry, and there was one other thing here that was missing, and that's if there are evidence of damaged pavers or pavers that have come up or you've had frost heaves, they have to be replaced. So it's not just noting, oh yeah, there were there were some damaged pavers. No, they were replaced for the corrections. And then the other thing that I want to ask you about here, you're calling for, in the joint openings here, crushed limestone rather than sand.
Correct. I believe that's what was recommended by Unilock.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to take a look at that, because that, to me, crushed limestone is going to have a tendency to turn into cement rather than stay nice and open and porous like sand
Well,
would. So
Again,
kind
that's what
of,
the manufacturer recommends. I'm not the
I know, that's why if that's what the manufacturer recommends,
obviously,
yeah.
for them to
Yep.
get that recognition and prove that
Yeah.
it's eco-friendly for that purpose, that
I know,
water
that's
is
why,
going through there.
yep.
But obviously, I don't think they want something that's going to just blow in the wind either. So
Yeah,
something has to be able to
yeah, I was
solidify the joints so that things aren't sliding around as much as you want, or
really surprised to
Blowing
see
around.
that, yeah, as opposed to, because
But-
it's usually sand, and then you replace the sand. That's part of the inspection, is if the joints are missing, if sand has come out because somebody's been out there getting really aggressive with their leaf blower, they've got to put more sand, dump it on, and
Right.
push broom it around, so.
again, we just
Yeah.
went purely by what they recommend and pulled
Yeah.
their data together and listed
Yeah.
it as. We don't want to go against what the manufacturer recommends.
Nope, no, and that's not what I'm suggesting. So that's why I'm really glad that you have that copy, and I'd like to
Right.
make sure. And if that's talking about crushed limestone, then yeah, I see your.
There's a reason
I
for it.
definitely
just
see your
I'm
point.
not from
Yeah.
that company, so I don't.
Yeah.
Don't know
Yeah,
why
exactly.
they use that.
So, I'm sorry, I've been monopolizing the conversation.
All right.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, I know. Does anybody else?
She's so well versed in this, and we have copies of things for reference, but as far as like the nuts and bolts and the questions and reading the blueprints, we're more adept at that.
Yeah, but all questions are equal.
I mean, you did mention
You know.
that, I mean, the DPW did send us an email of their comments.
Right.
We
Yep.
have not received any other comments from any other of the departments. I'm not sure if you have. I know we distribute 10 copies.
Yeah.
Right.
Deliver 10, and then I was surprised that we hadn't heard from any of the other boards knowing.
No, but the DPW comment, the number one still was what Pam had said about needing to adhere by future property owners and,
Understood.
Yeah.
Again, I think that was discussed
That
the
was the-
original time
Yeah,
around.
that's
Yeah.
been clear from the
Yeah.
get-go.
You may not have gotten back some of them. We did hear back from Board of Selectmen / Town Administrator, which was defer to Board of Health, Building Commissioner, DPW. Fire Department sent in an approval. Police Department sent in an approval. Tax Collector sent in an approval.
Tax collector.
Conservation Committee approved with a comment, less impervious surfaces the better. Planning Board sent in their approval, that you still have to go before them if there's any zoning issues, but at least on the aquifer. And I have, it was in an email, Ms. Shoba's comment, and that was, my concerns with the operation and maintenance agreement is the follow-up that will be necessary after construction to make sure the property is maintained according to the OM plan. Who will be doing the inspections? I would assume some items would need to be recorded on the deed, and that, so, yeah, that happens with the special permit anyway, so.
Right, okay.
So we didn't get any other,
So who was missing from that group then? Just the building department?
yes, just the building department. And I will,
Economic department.
and economic, yeah.
yeah, we haven't heard anything from economic.
Which is, because I thought he was gonna give us something, but I don't think.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure that, does he usually? I mean,
No.
he's on the check.
I don't know if he's one of the 10 that get it or not. So.
Yeah, he
I
is,
think
he is.
What they do, Neil, is they send it around to all departments. It
Yeah.
doesn't concern half of these.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. No,
Yeah, I
know
don't
how it
know if
works.
he's a
It was just-
required.
To only hear back from 1 out of 10 was so.
Absolutely.
I was a little worried I was going to be coming into a buzzsaw.
No.
I took the approach of no news was good news, but you never know.
We'll give you a hard time nicely. So, given that, I think that there's just a little bit. If you could just verify or decide or do something with the drawing about if you have a reason for wanting to go 8 inches for the filter course.
Yeah, I have noted that.
Let us
Yeah.
know. If you want to just concede and go to 12, then that would just be a revision to the drawing. For deed purposes, I do have a question about this drawing. Looks like the date of the drawing always remains April 2016.
That is correct.
The engineering stamp
Correct.
is different. So is that, that's how, this is your rev control block on this drawing, right? This little thing in the middle where the engineer's stamp is?
Yeah.
So-
what happens is this identifies the original plan of when it was generated, which was
Yeah.
April of 2016. And then there's the list of the different dates that the engineer has stamped it along the way with a brief summary of the revisions made.
Okay,
So if it does get recorded, or you put in your wording, you're approving the plan dated April 2016 with the most recent revision date of 3/21/17. So they know there's a generation of.
that's exactly what I'm looking for, is how exactly do we refer to this? Now, will the engineer stamp again if it's just things like changing operation and maintenance and.
Well, the operation and maintenance
He doesn't-
is an independent, that doesn't have a
Yeah.
stamp on it.
Yeah,
But if we do change the 8 inches to 12, it does get changed. Or we can add to the approval that if it's deemed that 12 inches is needed, then this plan could be left alone and mentioned in the permit that that 8-inch filter should be 12 inches. I mean, 6
I
months.
don't know, I think the drawing should say what,
I mean, the contractor's
needs
gonna
to be
grab
done,
it, so.
yeah.
Again, and that's just a matter of changing that number and him signing.
yeah, that's what I'm kind of asking is, does it only get another rev date when the engineer has to stamp? Or
Correct.
does every change get another rev date?
No, it's,
So if you made a change here to increase this filter course to 12 inches,
that
That-
gets a new stamp. I
yeah,
know.
that would get a
Well,
new
because
stamp?
it's a completely different plan,
Okay,
and we don't wanna have anybody picking up, well, I picked up the the March 21st plan
right,
that said 8
Got it.
inches, and they go and build it with 8 inches. We
right.
wanna make sure that they have them, so that's why we always change
Yeah.
the signature. This is a new signature, new date every time this
Okay.
changes.
Okay, all
The
right.
only that stays the same is the origination date of April, which kind of reference when this whole thing started.
Okay, okay, that sounds good.
All right.
So then that change would be 12 inches. If you could do some more work on the operation and maintenance plan, and then I'm going to look at the information that you gave us on the pavers to just look at the crushed limestone.
Okay.
I think
Does that
we
mean
can-
another
so-
hearing, or does that mean
No, I think that, well, I mean, I
the
guess,
permit's pending the acceptance of our revised
yeah, I'd like
operation
to,
and maintenance plan and?
yeah, I'd like to review the revised operation and maintenance plan. So I think we're actually continuing then this special hearing until this is something we could combine with another Board of Health meeting?
With all due respect, is there a way that we can do what Neil suggested, which is to submit something? I mean, I really appreciate that we were able to get together tonight as a special meeting. It was really helpful. Our, goal is still to hopefully see the planning board in June.
Yep.
As you saw from the origination date, we're now 14 or 15 months into this for a number of
Yep.
different reasons. Some of them are changes, your due diligence, some process missteps along the way. We're hoping that we could maybe agree upon those 2 or 3 subject to, or just approval of the maintenance plan with a deadline for us to get it to you by, today's Monday, by Thursday. So you could look at it and say, yeah, this is what we were looking for. Please proceed to the planning board.
Or hold the permit hostage until you have an agreeable operation and maintenance plan. I mean,
But we can't get into the planning board until I think there's an approved.
Right, and I can't render a vote on a plan that I haven't seen.
But the plan's been, I believe, again, there's been changes, Pam. But at this point, I think the plan changes that are articulated on the front page, showing the open space, the permeability sections. I think the sticking point right now is how are we going to make what we presented implementable so that it can be followed. And again, given the expense that I've been through and the time that everyone's invested, it may be the point that we can say, look, we know what the plan says. We know it's, again, even better from a water permeability standpoint than the way the site sits today. So I think the aspect remaining still is the management plan. So are we able to have your eyes to look at this and get this to you, voting just subject to the 4 or 5 key points that you put in there, which is the crushed stone, some of the issues about how it's organized, a little bit about the repetition over a 24-month period. I believe it was, Neil seemed to be listening, and as I was, that these are the 4 or 5 key points.
Yep.
Can you then decide that, yes, this plan is valid, we accept it, barring the changes to the management plan that you've asked us to make.
I would be a lot more comfortable looking at the revised maintenance plan, because this
So as a business
permeable
person,
paver is really only as good
but I can
as
only
your
go backwards
maintenance.
and say to myself, well, Mark and Neil are now coming before us for I think the fourth, maybe the fifth time.
Mhm.
There's been some of the same documentation in your possession since that time. All of your preparation, and it was obvious that you prepared for the meeting in advance, would have helped us come with the adapted management plan today. But what I'm feeling is that it's from one meeting to the next, and there'll be something else at the next meeting that you'll want us to fix. And there doesn't seem to be an end point. So, this is why I'm asking you this. Can we call this, is it the management plan? Is that the sticking point? And can we present this to you based on the agreement of what those 4 or 5 items need to be changed?
I think you've got a very clear idea of the items that need to be changed. But I just find it difficult to vote on a document that does not exist.
You know what, I agree, but now let's go back, rewind 3 weeks and say, I've had these documents. Let's let Mark and Neil know what those are so that they can come prepared. This is, again,
I did my
trying to keep
research
my
today.
cool and pardon me?
I did my research today, literally today.
But those have been in your possession for
Yep,
6 weeks.
I know that. Do you realize we have 180 days after this meeting to render an opinion? We're trying
All right,
to
okay.
give you, we're trying
would
to
the
move
next
things
meeting be?
along
Yeah,
as
when is
quickly
the
as
next
we can.
meeting?
June 12th? Is that correct?
Yeah.
We can put you first on the agenda for June 12th.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So,
We-
actually, before you leave, maybe we should go through the,
Well,
we
why
want to
don't you
continue?
make sure, first of all, that he has exactly, Neil, read back.
Can
Because
we, can
we
I,
wanna
in
make
the
sure
meantime,
this is-
between now and the next meeting,
Yes,
can we have an open email
yep,
absolutely.
Yes.
to edit back and forth so
yes,
that we can come to an agreement?
yes,
You can't take an official vote, but
yep,
some editing along the way.
yes, absolutely.
I understand the part about the monthly inspections, or at least have a 2-year window of
Yep.
a satisfactory monitoring before any decreases in
Yep.
inspections are allowed.
Yep,
Understand that. How to replace damaged data, or if we inspect that there are damaged pavers, they are to be replaced,
yep,
etc. The maintenance of vegetation that may possibly grow between pavers.
yes,
To kind of reorganize this maintenance so that it's easier to follow,
yeah,
easier to manage,
yeah,
rather than its current unorganized manner.
yep,
Like a true, over the next 2 years, inspect ABC this, along on a monthly basis.
yeah, and then I think the last thing that maybe I may not have been clear about is a little bit of the if this, then if there are missing pavers,
Right.
you replace the pavers. You inspect to make sure that there is still fill, in between. If the fill is missing, you replace it with,
I think that is talked about something like that in the
Okay.
rules already, so.
okay, all right, got it.
And then the who, I guess, is the next question. Is it a professional or is it?
Yeah, and I think you can get around some of the professional, like the one that I was kind of stumbling on was the permeable joint aggregate areas clogged. I don't know if a layperson's going to know, is it clogged or
Well,
not?
it should be letting water go
That's,
through. If it's puddled up, that's.
Right, and you can do that by pouring the bucket of water on it, to see.
Harvesting it afterwards, right?
Yeah. So if you give some instructions on this is how you can tell if it is clogged or not. So it's kind of more of an instructional document than assuming that someone knows how to do these things. Evidence of drainage system failure, that's kind of another one that I don't know that a layperson is going to know that, but the bucket test is not too complicated.
I'm just taking notes, I'm not.
Yeah, I know. And the soil there, with all this underlayment you're doing, and the underlying soil is so sandy that
It's all sand. We did a perk test out there. It's 2 minutes. We couldn't even keep water in the hole.
I have that problem with the doggy dooley at my house. I can't either. So I think if you, if you describe something very simple like the water bucket test, then it gives somebody something that, okay, I see what I need to do, and I know how to determine if the result is good or bad. And then I think we have something that you can then hand over to the new owners, the condo association, and they're going to know exactly what to do with this thing, how to implement it.
Can I take a minute with Neil outside? I wanted to ask
Yep.
him something.
Yeah, of course.
Can I ask a question about the operation and maintenance? Is this, have you come across this before when people have come for permits? You have to get very specific with these,
This
This
is
is a different.
or do they come up with their own? This is they came up with
yeah,
this.
they came up with.
So everybody that comes through the board and has to go through this process should have something like this.
Well, the permeable paver solution is it's not something that you see all the time.
Right.
So because they're covering so much of the ground surface, they're really relying on these.
And it wouldn't
permeable
have to be
pavers.
this specific and intricate of a system if it wasn't for the aquifer.
We
I understand
haven't
that.
had
Right.
this much
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
mostly it's been somebody putting a garage on
Right.
or making a few changes.
Yeah, so it either is or isn't permeable.
The other
Yeah.
has been down in the business district. This is the
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
big thing up here, and this is actually putting 2 new units
Right,
on
Yeah.
this property.
right. So it's different.
yeah.
All right. As we were just talking about finding a way to back and forth the direct way,
Yeah.
what is the best channel of communication with you? Is there an email address and a phone number that we can contact you?
You can email it directly to me. Just CC
Me?
Jane, which
Yeah.
is so she's boh@ayer.ma.us, and I am P Papineau at ayer.ma.us. Yeah, check the spelling. There's a lot of
Ryan
vowels.
Papineau.
Lots of vowels.
So Pete Capano at
P Papineau at ayer.ma.us.
And should we copy Mary and Patricia also so that they can weigh in on, so they're informed and able to
yeah.
vote?
Can I comment here?
Yes.
Procedurally, we have to have any discussions about this in open session, I
We
believe.
Yeah.
understand the open meeting
Yeah,
law.
Yeah.
so we can't really, procedurally, you can't go back and forth procedurally, and
So could we, maybe we
If
should
we
have some of
have-
it now?
Yeah, let's, whatever, that's correct.
Has Mary, have you had a chance to kind of dig into this thing a little bit like Pam has?
Well, I like this plan better than the other one. I can say that much. I would be happier if the building inspector had sent along anything that he has. However, our plan, what we have to do is protect the drinking water. That is what our job is as the Board of Health.
I couldn't agree with you more, but it's to get to this point.
I understand that. I understand, and I understand everybody's frustration on everything. But I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that doesn't matter if we like the plan, doesn't matter if we absolutely hate it, anything. Our role as the Board of Health is to protect the drinking water of the residents of Ayer. We come under the Department of Public Health. It isn't the planning board, the zoning board, any other board. Our job is to protect the drinking water. And that's what I'm looking at.
Right. And I'm, like I said, this is kind of Greek to me. So listening to Neil, I get a better idea of what that is. I can picture it better. But as far as the operations and management, I agree with Mary. That's down the road, even beyond you, Mr. Sater, whoever is going to take care of this property for the next how many years. It still has to be protected. So if that is changed and it goes by the guidelines that we have, and then I'm all for it. Okay, so I agree. Yeah.
Well, the maintenance plan,
And,
I don't think there
and
is a
remember,
guideline.
I haven't spoken up once about my objection to what anyone is saying. It's the points at which they're introduced somewhat after the fact or at the next meeting, prolonging this painfully and expensive.
Well,
And I
it depends on
understand
how you look at it though, Mike, because if you remember the last time this came before the board, I voted no. So I'm coming around. I'm working with you on this maintenance plan. I mean, the last time I saw no reason to work on the operation and maintenance plan because I didn't believe the whole plan was viable as an aquifer protection. I think the things that you've done are going in the right direction.
All right, thank
So-
you. That's good.
You know, that's why I'm doing this. One last thing, signage. Can we add that to the operation and maintenance plan? That you have to have some kind of signage, you have to have some way of identifying this as pervious.
Like a DEP posting?
It's
or-
not really a DEP. It's just, I think Neil's going to know what I mean. It's just something so that somebody doesn't come along and say, you know what? I'm going to put sealer all over this because that's going to look great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's that.
Whether it's in the garage or somewhere where the property owners will know right away.
Oh, it doesn't have to be
No,
outside.
I'm saying
Yeah, you
inside
can
the
put it in the
garage.
garage. Or something. That's fine. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
From a date standpoint, you had said that the next Board of Health meeting is on Monday, June 12th.
Yes. Yeah.
Who knows what the planning board's doing? They're
Who knows?
twice a month
Right.
on
What they're
Thursdays.
No, they only meet
Once.
once a month.
First,
So they're meeting June
Thursday.
1st,
first
Which-
Thursday.
yeah. And then they would meet again the first Thursday of July, if it's not the 4th of July, I don't know what that date is.
Yeah, I don't know either for July.
But
It's first Thursday, right?
They meet
For
the
the-
first
for the-
I
Thursday.
know they're meeting June 1st, so whatever,
Yeah.
that's a Thursday.
Yeah, but it's an interesting chain reaction. My schedule leaves me out of town the first week of July.
Ah,
So if we miss the June
that would be the
meeting,
6th. Yeah,
then I'm out of town that
you're out
entire
of town
week.
that week.
well, you don't
And
have
who
time
knows
to
if
have
on
a
4th of July week,
planning board.
they even meet before.
I
Need a
know,
public
yeah.
hearing. It's still
Because it's on a
open.
Tuesday. This 4th of July is on a Tuesday
Yeah.
this year, so it's kind of in the middle of the
I'm
week like
trying
that.
to
it's tough.
accommodate everybody though here. If
I
we
know.
can do something and add this to the permit,
Mm-hmm.
then we should be able to decide on this tonight. It's not fair to keep dragging this out, knowing that 4th of July week, what do you bet the planning board doesn't even meet?
But what can we actually do tonight, Mary? We would be voting on a plan that doesn't exist. It's some future revision of this plan.
Oh, it's an agreed modification that we're gonna change one number from 8 inches to 12 inches.
No, the drawing, right, the drawing is not an issue, it's the operation and
So
maintenance
this is the
plan.
design, and then
Yeah.
what we're negotiating or discussing is the operation and maintenance plan for
Right.
this design.
But that is also part of the special permit. The operation and maintenance plan is gonna be tied to the special permit. So I think we can get this over with very quickly in the very first part of that June 12th meeting. We can't discuss it as a board.
No.
You and I can go back and forth
Right.
with
With
But
the
this
email.
puts us
with
into
these
August.
plans.
That's what we're trying to say. We're trying to come up with a way.
Yeah.
Okay, but is there a way that we can vote on this tonight pending the add-ons, the changes to the operation and maintenance?
We have,
Tentatively.
I guess we have in the past with other committees like the Conservation Commission. Sometimes they ask they'll vote and approve the project, and then, you know, prior to the start of construction, please provide us with a construction sequence.
Mhm.
And so, you know, documents like that, so
Yeah.
they still vote and approve the project. And then, you know, have a specified date that, you know, this document is to be, you know, modified and accepted prior to construction. Oh, you set a date, whatever, you know. whatever it is.
So we would vote on this two-part? You would vote on,
No.
You voted on it, approve it with
pending,
Subject to.
yes, with an acceptable revised operation and maintenance plan.
Jane?
I don't know if that's,
If,
With the 4 items called out, or the 5 items.
yeah.
does, so in order to get on if the planning board's next meeting then is June 1st, what's the lead time, Jane, to get on planning board's
Well, you have to have
agenda?
well, they can put it right on the
They can
agenda.
put, that's not a problem.
And evidently, they said that the public hearing has been left open.
It's our opinion, we
So-
we got your permit
Absolutely.
last fall,
Mhm.
or winter, whatever it was.
Yep.
We submitted everything to the planning board to go through the zoning, to go through their site plan approval.
Mm-hmm.
During the site plan approval was where there was a sticking point with the parking spaces outside of the structures.
Right.
Yeah,
We continued that hearing knowing that we were going to go to the zoning board of appeals to see if a variance was a way to, an acceptable way to go.
okay.
That got turned down by the zoning board. So, in our
That was
opinion-
actually a no vote, right? They didn't,
No, we withdrew without.
right, yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've left this planning board review process of this site plan, which is the same
Yeah,
generation of plan, open since before the ZBA. Is our opinion that we just need to we submitted these back in March, these
Yeah.
revised plans to them, and then they said, no, we're not gonna hear you until you go to the Board of Health.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. But our opinion is we still have an open hearing with them, and as long as we meet the, open meeting laws, which we don't have to go and publicize this whole meeting again, because it's already an open meeting.
do these revised plans, do you still need a zoning variance, or you?
We need site plan review.
You need site plan review, but do you still need a zoning variance?
We don't have, we're variance free, we just need their blessing that we
Okay,
meet the
okay.
zoning.
So then you don't need a public hearing
No.
for
No.
CBA?
So I don't think we need to have multiple newspaper ads and notify butters again.
No.
It's-
Yeah, if you're not seeking a variance, no.
And plus, we've already had an open hearing with them. It's just,
Mhm.
we asked for them to continue it until we had ZBA. We went back to them, they said, well, don't come to see us until you go back to the Board of Health. So
Yeah,
and that's part of our frustration, is that we keep it seems like we're moving targets.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I got you, yeah.
We wanted to go to them before coming back to you to make sure they didn't have any major changes.
Yeah, I know,
So, I
I
mean,
know, yeah.
That
I
was the
know.
sticking point, is we already had your blessing with the previous design, we're thinking, we were confident this was a better design.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to them, and they wouldn't talk to us. We couldn't even go back in before our open hearing and,
Yeah, I
and have them say, welcome back, okay, please go
Yeah.
see the Board of Health now. It was just by email, no, you
Okay.
can't come see us yet. It's like,
But this actually, I think, makes things better, because if you don't need the zoning variance, then you don't need that public hearing and the notifications and, all
again,
that.
it's-
But if they meet
It's-
only once a
But
month,
he's not concerned.
It's just
We're
the
getting-
site plan
You're getting
review.
too confused here.
Right.
He doesn't need to go back to zoning.
Right.
He's concerned
No, I'm not
with the
confused at
planning-
all.
No, but with the
Planning board,
Planning board meets June 1st.
that's right.
We don't meet again till
The 12.
Till June
June 12th.
and their only meeting in July is June 6th, and I'm out of town.
And does planning board meet twice in June or just once?
No, they
Once.
meet once
Once.
a month,
Yeah.
the first
Once.
Thursday.
6th.
The first
I
Thursday.
just checked it.
Okay.
So that's where we appreciate you having the hearing tonight, and the goal is to hopefully wrap things up tonight. I mean, Rob was here for me last time, took some great notes, and,
You did a good job.
and we,
Yeah,
yeah. We felt like we were ready to go, and just going through the matter of procedure,
Yeah.
and now we've got, changes being requested of the documents, which we were hoping that would be ironed out when we had that meeting with you last time, so that's where we're kind of crunched for the time and hoping to move things along with thinking that we were right there, just a matter of having a public setting.
So. You're changing the 12 inches, 8 to 12 inches is changing?
That's,
Is that,
That's easy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
That's the only
okay,
thing.
all right. So that's the only thing that has to change on the drawing.
Right.
This crushed limestone thing I want to see again. Can I see the thing on the pavers again? So maybe I can just put
I'm
that
gonna go to the
to rest right now.
Is that the only other question on the plan?
That's the only thing I think that would show up on the drawing, yeah.
I understand his frustration because now it's
Opening
pushed to
aggregate.
lot.
Oh, he
I
can't do that.
I get that. I get that.
Conforming to ASTM's. Using granite? Oh, heavy trouser girls, this is not heavy trouser.
let's see that.
Oh.
Fresh limestone. This is a wash sand, just so you know. We use that in the
okay,
Presby
okay.
septic sands. It's concrete sand.
Yeah, okay.
That's the same specification they use for Presby. You put that around the Presby pipes and septic system,
Okay, okay.
which is a clean sand. It's
Every
washed.
material is 19C33. 19 granite? This is so they want supply. Okay, so this is what you would do if you're in the heavy traffic.
That's what I read it
Stretch.
as.
Is that what this is saying?
Right, granite
chips?
chips.
And
where
if
we're-
not, then you're up here
Right.
in the, okay, as shown in table 1. Okay, that's what they say, crushed limestone.
Right.
It doesn't turn to stone.
In the rain.
Isn't that how you get cement?
Again, I think the goal is they want it to be somewhat in place at the same time. They don't
Yeah,
want
I
it to-
guess, yeah,
They don't
yeah.
want it to be being
Yeah.
tracked around. They want it to
Yeah,
stay in
yeah,
place.
I know. Okay, so then that's the only change to the drawing. So I guess that would be an alternative, that we could vote on an approval subject to, I guess, Neil and I working out the terms of the operation and maintenance plan.
Well, that's what I was trying to say before. that we could, because if we don't do this tonight, it sounds like it wouldn't get done until August, because I'm quite certain, well, Mark is going to be away in July.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet that the planning board will not meet July 4th week. Knowing on past years what's
Yeah.
happened, I'm going by that. That's what I was trying to get in the middle here and say, this plan is better, much better than the other one, with regards to parking, everything. You had a couple of questions here.
Yeah.
Then why can't, Neil has written them down, then why can't we vote on it with the 2 things or 3 things he's going to get back to us? Pending that, I'm just trying to be reasonable here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how does this work? How does the motion actually, I mean, I don't know what we're moving on, Neil's notes?
Well, no,
I mean,
he submitted a new plan.
So you're approving the plan, I guess.
Yeah.
Approving the plan, but the list of the
Has been
revised, the list of the things that are to be revised on the operation and maintenance, is that under
What we-
the special permit? So
Yes,
if you
what
give
we've-
the permit for
What
one
we've
thing.
agreed to tonight, the changes that will be listed on the operation manual. That's what we've been talking about now for a
yeah,
while.
I know, I hear you. Because it's something that's going to be tied to a special permit, I really would like to see what exactly it is that I'm approving. However, if you would like to make a motion to do otherwise, you're welcome to.
No, I'm not trying to do that. This new plan
Yeah,
you like.
yes,
We all
We
are
all
in
agree on
agreement that
that.
it's a better plan,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah.
I think what Mary's trying to say is,
Correct.
take this with Neil's input, you know.
With the changes we've discussed tonight to the operation and maintenance plan.
I'm just saying, as a record of a meeting, I have no idea how we would actually record that.
You can't.
I just don't see how we can record that.
Jane.
Okay,
No, I'm actually seeking Jane's
okay,
input on this
okay, my
because,
input is, we would be ill-advised to approve something before we have it solidly in hand, because when when we're done here, I write up a thing that gets appended to the plans, and it has to be complete, because it's gonna follow the deed.
that's what I'm looking for, the mechanics
The
of
mechanics of the
how
deed,
this
and-
thing works.
And although it may inconvenience the applicants, my suggestion would be to wait until we can accept the entire thing. It will be cleaner, it will hold up. We need to subject file the maintenance and operations manual
Mhm.
with the deed. All that needs to be a whole cloth, and to be willy-nilly and accept the drawings and then say pending this and pending that. They can't go on to the planning board until
All right,
they
enough,
have the
enough,
whole thing
enough.
together
Okay.
anyway.
Okay, first of all,
In my humble opinion.
well, Jane isn't a member of the Board of Health. We need to decide. Either we're going to vote, we're going to come in here then someday next week and take a vote on it if he submits a new thing. It is not fair to anybody to put this off for another couple of months.
It's not a matter of fairness, it's the process.
Well, I
You're-
understand.
you're
I think it's
voting
both.
on a document.
I think it's both. The holdup here is the changes to the operation and maintenance plan is what,
That's right.
correct?
Which is going to be encompassed in the special permit.
In the permit, and it goes along with the deed, and we understand that. I'm trying to say, how can we do this without making him wait until probably the end of summer? Let's be fair about things
Send a
too.
representative to the July 6th meeting. I mean, it's
What July 6th meeting? You don't even
of the planning board.
You don't even know if they're meeting in
It's on the
July.
calendar.
It's July 1st, isn't it?
No, it's June 1st.
No, the one in July.
I'm
I'm
just
saying
saying-
if we don't get this
Yeah,
done.
all right, wait a minute. Are you positive they'll have a July 6th meeting?
It's on the calendar as of today, I'm positive.
I-
I'm not positive tomorrow's gonna
Well,
come,
we can't
Mary.
speak
People-
for them.
You can't, that's correct. You can't speak for them,
Subject to.
and that's not fair either. So we either need to have Neil send you in the corrections.
Yeah.
What we said tonight is what I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to say for the last 15 minutes.
We hear you, I
No,
just
no,
don't agree
no.
with it.
You don't agree with him making the changes to the operation and maintenance plan.
No, what I don't agree with is voting to approve something I have not seen.
Can we approve the core components of what you're looking for? Now we've discussed in circles. Instead, maybe what we do is we just say, this is what we're gonna do. This is our plan. As heard by the board, vote, approve. You'll have the actual formal revisions tomorrow morning.
This is, it's, I mean, I'm
know,
trying
Now
to-
I'm
I
sorry.
know, I'm really,
I'd love to see everybody feel good about this.
I know. I'm not trying to be difficult about it. I'm thinking about it from to me it's very important. A document that's going to actually be tied to a deed. And
But
it's
the reason we
it's
had
an
this
important
meeting
thing.
was so that we could go on to the next meeting, I should say. I thought the reason you had thought this was a good meeting to have outside of your regular schedule was so that we could hopefully get to the next. So as you prepared, we didn't have the time to really get you the changes you were starting to think about. So subsequently, here we are, hoping to move forward for everyone, for your own time as
Yep.
well as ours. But we have these 4 or 5 points that could be incorporated and on record tonight and vote on, yes, this is the revised maintenance plan. In general, we're hearing what you're saying, so let's get those points down, and we like the plan because it is better. So if we've got those 4 or 5 core points and an improved plan, can we vote?
That's the problem is I don't see that we have the improved plan. I think we've had a meeting of the minds on what needs to be done. I just think we have to take it to the next step of actually seeing that final plan. We vote on it. Now you have a special permit that references the operation and maintenance plan. It references the right revision of the
What
drawing.
about when you talked about proper process earlier, you used the word proper process. There was a time when plans weren't disseminated in advance for preparation for the meeting. So suddenly it became, we're not having a public hearing. But we could have had the same discussion last time and said, look, boys, prepare. And every time you said jump, we've jumped higher than you've asked us to jump. And we're again, another thing has come up, which we want to adhere to. But we're trying to get you to work with us from a timing standpoint at this point.
I understand that.
I get that too, Mark.
Did you get that?
I just don't know, it's not the word legally, I don't know what word, how the guidelines work. Are you supposed to vote on things as a whole? Can we as a board do what you're suggesting? Get the email tomorrow with it, printed up and vote ahead of time? I don't know.
I
Is
am
that
willing
something-
to come in here again this week just to vote on this new maintenance plan, if that's what you can't vote, you said, until you see the changes on the maintenance plan. Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to vote on the revised drawing
Okay.
and the revised maintenance
All right.
plan.
If, Neil, if you can get this to Pam tomorrow,
Correct.
I'm at a client tomorrow. I can't review this thing tomorrow.
Well, if we still got it to you tomorrow, maybe you convene on Tuesday night or Wednesday, and
Tomorrow's
our goal is,
Yeah, tomorrow.
Can you stop,
Tomorrow is
please,
Tuesday.
minute? I know
I
what
know,
Tuesday
We're
is.
fine.
I
We're
know.
fine, Mary.
No, I
Mary.
am trying to figure out how we can, if he can get it to you, how we can meet again. You can't do it tomorrow. I
We
said,
have to
can
do
we?
notice.
I am aware
No, you don't.
of
It's a
how
continued hearing.
we have to do things.
Yeah, it's continued. I don't think we have to do
We
notice.
don't have to give a notice. If we
The
vote
meeting
tonight,
has to be posted.
I am aware
Ah, the
of-
meeting has. I see what
I
you're saying.
am-
Meeting has
That's
to be
what
posted.
I'm trying to say. We can
Yeah.
continue this.
Yeah.
Neil gets this to you. We can continue this for a couple of more days. I'll come in on a Friday morning if you want. I don't care.
So there doesn't have to be another posting?
No,
It's
we-
just a
The
continue?
last time, remember, we did the same thing on his first plan. We continued it.
It doesn't
so
have
you
to be in the
don't have to
newspaper.
be-
Right.
But the
It doesn't-
meeting has to be
The
posted.
meeting, we know the meeting has to be posted, but we do not have to do another posting of, okay, we've got to
Right.
get everything out. You continue a public hearing. That's what I'm
Mhm.
trying to
Yep.
say.
Yeah, I think we understand that.
Yeah, well,
But you
I
can
don't-
continue it to Friday, you don't.
I'll come in, I don't pay, you can't come in, Tricia, I'm sure you're working Friday, but.
I can't come in during the day, I don't get out of school till 4.
Yeah.
I won't be home till 4.
I want enough. You could nail it on the very first try. You very well could. We could have some back and forth, which is why I'm a little hesitant to say, well, we'll have a meeting on Thursday or Friday, because then so I'm out of the office tomorrow. I've got client meetings Wednesday, I've got client meetings Thursday. So if there's any back and forth to be done, I would hate to schedule another meeting and then not be ready.
let's do our best.
But
For
how
that.
much back and forth would there be with
Right.
Neil took the notes?
And
And,
it
and
all depends on what comments she has. I mean,
I mean, what I've asked him to do are some, in some ways straightforward, but, as someone writes them up, I don't know what they're going to look like. What makes, apparently it made perfect sense to someone to have an untrained person making a determination of, is there evidence of drainage system failure? So if there are still things in here that are like that, then no, it's not adequate to hand over to a homeowner, to a condo association. So this needs to be what.
I think this process sounds like it makes sense anyway. Hopefully we can still meet, but there may be some things that you are seeing and expecting that, again, we can't totally read what it is you want to the letter, but let's give this a go. Let's have Neil get you something tomorrow, and hopefully you guys can pick a date now for Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday morning. And then, we'll be in the hands of the next group of decision makers.
So Jane, the meeting for planning board, then I guess we're back to the question of how much advance notice does it take to get on
I don't know.
the agenda for
Yeah,
the
because
site
I
plan
think-
review?
I think that if it's a site plan review and as he said, the meeting is open,
Yeah.
then it should be just a matter of getting on the agenda.
Okay, so their
I think, but
agenda,
I
Theirs
can't
next.
speak for the planning board.
There's next.
yeah, I know you help with them, so,
Well, I used to, but I don't anymore, so I don't know what their procedures are.
oh, okay, I was hoping you'd have some insight.
No, not a.
That's why I was trying to ask you, Pam, I understand you're out of the office tomorrow. We have to do a 48-hour notice. We're coming up to the holiday weekend, so.
I know.
We-
I'm looking at next week until I can do a meeting, which is gonna be tough because it's going to give you like virtually no time, even if we did it on Tuesday. You're not going to. Yeah, you're not gonna meet the posting
So
time.
Thursday
for-
It's
would be
only
the
48
soonest.
hours you need for a meeting.
Right, but if we would have to meet on Tuesday. And then planning board would have to agree that they're gonna put it on the agenda and get it
They
on that
keep their
agenda that
agenda
goes out
kind of-
Tuesday night.
But they keep their agenda kind of open.
Yeah, I know.
We've been in touch with them, and they said, get your special permit.
Do they wanna see your special permit? Because that's the other thing, if we have that meeting
There would need to
on-
be some way that you would communicate with them to say there
It's
has
been
been a
voted and
special.
approved and you're in the process
That's,
of issuing.
that's simple enough.
for which they're gonna need minutes or something, right?
Well, no, if we meet on Tuesday night, if Neil and you get all this straightened out, if we meet Tuesday night
Yeah.
and vote on it,
Mhm.
you just notify the planning board, email them that you have done it,
You
the
could let 'em-
special permit,
You
then
can let them know now that we're meeting on Tuesday nights, just so they can add
Exactly.
us, and if they can add us to their agenda, and if I have to go back and ask after the fact, not after the fact, but I could show up at the meeting and say, well, it didn't get finalized with the Board of Health, we'll continue it to the July meeting. It gives us a chance to possibly get on the issue.
Tuesday the
We're
30th,
looking
is
for a
that what you're
chance.
looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at Tuesday the 30th, which is, we would have to do it then. Monday's Memorial Day.
Right.
Can you ladies both do Tuesday the 30th?
What time? 5:30?
Yeah, 5:30 again? Okay. Let's do that then.
Ross, does that work?
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
5:30.
yes.
30th?
And if we-
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. And if we do all of, the review up front, it should be a very fast meeting.
In the meantime, is there one of you who could communicate just one more time with the planning board, just stating that there's gonna be a final decision we're expecting on Tuesday? We would still hope that they would accommodate us for their June 1st meeting, just so that that can be solidified as long as we have a special permit in hand.
I will
Or I should say
send,
that it's been approved.
I will send them an email letting them know that we're going to meet on that Tuesday night. And that we're expecting, that we've had a meeting of the minds on what needs to be done to the operation and maintenance plan.
Can we, be assured of a spot? Let them know what you're doing. You're trying to, help.
Yeah, I'll let them know that you're.
We cannot, we're not in a.
Yeah, I
position
can't
to
assure that
afford-
you're gonna get on their agenda, but I can let them know that
Okay.
that's what
Thank
you want.
Can
Very
I just
good.
ask, are you and Pam, are you still going to communicate by email so that by the time you come back with that, it should?
Hopefully you have some edits. We have a final product.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
yeah, we're gonna work really hard to get this
Thank you.
I
final
appreciate it.
thing.
Right.
Right now.
Have a good
night.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that
So-
works.
I will make a motion that we continue the public hearing
Yep,
until Tuesday, May 30th at 5:30 PM, in which case we'll have the new operation and maintenance plan that, with the revisions that were discussed tonight.
Correct. And you're also going to have the drawing with,
The revised,
with the new date.
revised
Yeah.
drawing as well.
Okay.
Correct.
Perfect.
Thank
You
you.
have a second?
Yeah,
I second.
okay.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.